In a move that's bound to turn heads across the NFL landscape, the Houston Texans have officially signed former first-round cornerback Damon Arnette to a one-year deal, marking the end of a 3-year exile from the league for one of the most turbulent stories in recent draft history. Arnette, a 2020 first-round selection by the Las Vegas Raiders out of Ohio State, hasn't appeared in an NFL game since 2020. Once seen as a rising star in the Raiders' secondary, Arnette's career quickly spiraled out of control, derailed by a string of off-the-field issues, arrests, and courtroom appearances. Now, after clawing his way back to football relevance through a brief stint in the UFL, Arnette is getting what might be his final shot at redemption, this time in Houston. The 28-year-old was last seen suiting up for the Houston Roughnecks in the United Football League earlier this year. While his time in the UFL didn't make waves on the stat sheet, it proved one thing: Damon Arnette still wants to play football. And the Texans, a team deep in the process of building something special, are rolling the dice on a player who's become more infamous for his rap sheet than his game tape. Back in 2020, Arnette's NFL journey hit its first major wall. After playing just 13 games over 2 seasons in Las Vegas, the Raiders released him in November following 2 major controversies: a pending lawsuit stemming from an alleged hit-and-run and a viral video showing Arnette waving firearms and making death threats. It was the kind of scandal that instantly sent him from first-round promise to league-wide pariah. Shortly after his release, the Miami Dolphins added him to their practice squad in December 2021. But Arnette never saw the field and wasn't brought back for the 2022 season. Then came a brief and equally chaotic stint with the Kansas City Chiefs. Arnette was signed to a futures contract in January 2022, only to be cut just 9 days later following his arrest in Las Vegas. The charges? Assault with a deadly weapon, unlawful gun possession, and controlled substance violations. A legal storm that would take months to clear. While the initial case was dropped by the Clark County District Attorney's Office, Arnette couldn't stay out of trouble. In May 2023, a grand jury indicted him on several charges related to that same Las Vegas incident. He ultimately reached a plea agreement. But the damage to his reputation was already done, and the legal troubles kept coming. In July 2022, Arnette was again arrested in Miami, this time for drug possession, drug paraphernalia, and driving with a suspended license. He later entered a diversion program in hopes of avoiding a conviction. Less than 2 years later, in January 2024, he was arrested in Richardson, Texas, on charges of meth possession and unlawful firearm carrying. Arnette's legal team claimed the firearm was tied to a valid prescription medication he couldn't immediately verify, but the optics once again painted a bleak picture for his football future. Throughout it all, NFL teams kept their distance, until now. The Texans have chosen not to comment publicly on Arnette's legal issues, but their actions speak louder than any press release. This signing suggests that Houston sees a potential upside, while, however slim, in bringing Arnette into the fold. For a team aiming to climb the AFC ladder and build a championship-caliber roster under head coach DeMeco Ryans and rising star quarterback C.J. Stroud, this move raises questions. Is it a calculated risk? A low-cost gamble on a once-talented prospect? Or is it a PR storm waiting to explode? Arnette's talent is undeniable. Coming out of Ohio State, he was known as a physical, aggressive corner with lockdown potential. He was part of one of college football's most feared secondaries, and his first-round pedigree wasn't just a product of hype, it was backed by performance. But in the NFL, talent isn't everything. Availability, professionalism, and conduct off the field weigh just as heavily in the modern league, and so far, Arnette has fallen short on all 3. The Texans' secondary isn't exactly desperate, but it could certainly use depth. And in the best-case scenario, Arnette provides that spark, a comeback story that gives Houston a high-reward player at a bargain price. But for every redemption arc, there's a cautionary tale, and Arnette, at this point, stands on the knife's edge of both. This isn't just another transaction. It's a story of lost potential, second and third and fourth chances. and the NFL's ongoing struggle to balance talent with accountability. Damon Arnette's road back to the league has been paved with legal battles, controversy, and self-inflicted wounds. Now, with 1 year to prove he belongs, the spotlight is back on him. Whether he fades into obscurity or resurrects his career remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the NFL world will be watching.